What's going on, everybody? It is 10:57 p.m. on a Wednesday. Everybody in my house is sick and asleep, except for me. I'm up hanging out with you guys, enjoying a chocolate milk. All right. So, I had that on the wrong screen. Doesn't really matter. These are the daily charts leading up until now. So, like, if you go back into here, you're talking a year ago, May 20th, or May of 20. So look at the amount of growth Bitcoin experienced in a year, right? I mean, that's ridiculously crazy. Same with the altcoin market. Obviously, everything went with it. So, I mean, where's May at? Oh, back here. I mean, you can see where the altcoin market was almost non-existent. Then in August, you kicked it up a notch. Right before New Year's and everything, it started kicking up, and then it's really been all this year. I got in like right in this area somewhere, but so anyway, we'll take it off the day. Let's drop down. What's the 4 hour look like? Let's see if that shows us quite what I want to see or not. 1 hour. We'll do the 30 minute. The 15 always just looks a little crazy to me, but either way, you can see that this is the drop. I put this on at about 8 o'clock, a little after, just to mark, well, this might even be like 9 o'clock. This was right around the time the Asia markets opened, and obviously it looked like we were about to suffer another major drop. I don't think that's the case. I mean, if you see it drop down, and if this is our 15-minute chart, within 45 minutes, then about an hour, you're almost back to where we were before the drop. And I think that's promising. We'll see. Same with this. Let's go ahead and drop this down into the 30. Should be fine. And yeah, again, you see before we got this V shape where you get this drop and you walk yourself out. You get a drop and you walk yourself out. So, and again, it's battling at these fibs. It looks like it's above this one, getting ready to start testing that. And obviously, as you see, once you get into some of these areas, you have less of a gap before you're running into resistance. This area right here is tough. So it's important. Another thing you can look at that's sometimes helpful is like where you can expect the retrace from the entire drop to come from. But I don't always like this the best. Your 702 is right in here, so it's like you should get back to at least there, and then have a little bit of a situation. I think it would have probably been pretty close here if you brought in, before these lows came. Let's see here. You can look right here. Drop, retrace, breaks the 702 to the 786, because immediately gets rejected. Boom. So these 702s, this is why I use this. BC Backer does this, and he's explained it. I watched a couple of videos going a little more in depth to it, and I mean, it is really crazy because you'll notice a lot of these times you get your drop, back up, wicks to the 702, rejection. So, you see it over and over again in these things. So when you guys see me doing that, that's why. Like I said, I'm not a chart guy. I'm just kind of like winging it. Oh, man, excuse me. So please don't take any of this as like expert opinion or anything. Like, I'm just absorbing what I see in YouTube videos and trying to, incorporate it. But I do think they look good from everything I've been watching and somewhat understand anyway. Let's make these a little bigger. We'll come back to them before the video ends, see where we're at. You can really see where like these lines matter. This is where break. Oh. Touches it, breaks. It's pretty fun to watch. We'll go ahead and refresh this, see what we're doing. My internet, as usual, is terrible. So Bitcoin is, you start seeing this too. Everything is way down. Don't get me wrong, like way down. But look, this is all pretty promising to see as you go down through here. And Blockchain Backer made a comment that when you see all of these in like I think he said 20 to 30% range, all of them, and then these will start to change, that's when it's like totally over and we're safe. I feel like that's happening right now, but I'm also not an expert either. So, for those of you that are in my group and follow me, you know how much we pound the table about XRP. You are at a 26% discount right now if you want to buy that. I would get on that. I don't know. I didn't think we would see under $1 again, to be honest. I was surprised when we got down in the 80-some cents range earlier this morning. I wish I had still had money on the sideline because I threw it at H-bar instead, which I'm not mad about, but I still was like, man, 89-cent XRP. So in this video, I just want to play a couple little videos that I found interesting. They're just some of the narrative that's going on around here, and but just check out the video. They're not too long.
Elon Musk, this is an individual potentially putting people on Mars, putting cargo into space, perhaps converting us from internal combustion engines to electric engines. This is important work that is tremendously lucrative. The automobile market is now an $800 billion market on the backs of Tesla's ascent. And the question I'd be asking the board is this really a worthwhile distraction from your good work and our responsibility as fiduciaries to look out for Tesla and SpaceX shareholders? To me, this is really, I mean, it says a lot of things, but it says how weak the corporate governance is at Tesla, who doesn't have a board member who can reach out to the CEO and say, simply put, what are you doing? So this is a weakness, an example of a weakness in governance, and how one individual is now more powerful, maybe even than the Chinese government. It's going to be, I think in the next 30 days, we're going to see some sort of statement or clarification or action. Elon Musk, this is an individual.
So yeah, you heard all that. I mean, it's a big conversation right now. I was saying, if you guys remember, and this wasn't a theory I pulled out of my own brain. I heard Christopher Green talked about it. I think Digital Asset Investor may have even touched on it. A lot of people were saying that with Doge and what a lot of us expected to happen, which is what happened on SNL night, it's like the perfect scapegoat for them to come in and regulate under the guise of investor protection, which of course, that's what they're doing now, even though they destroyed billions of dollars worth of XRP investments. But it's the perfect scapegoat for them to come in and start swinging the sword. I thought it was nice that this guy put something down here, kind of brought it back to, the Ripple thing. He says maybe this is something like what Ripple will have to look forward, and it looks like when they settled with the SEC, he was outed as the board chair and forced to pay $20 million, which is nothing. So what's interesting about that, Digital Asset Investor talked about, and I can't remember the guy's name. I want to say it's the guy that was part of the Diem project maybe, but I can't remember. That also I think is the PayPal Galactic guy. So maybe it's not the same guy, but whoever the guy is, he's like 100% CEO material. I'm going to have to go dig into his video, see if I can find it. Maybe he'll be cool and respond to this in the comments or something. I don't know. But that guy, when he came on board, Digital Asset Investor had made a comment about how generally, now this is me paraphrasing big time, but generally with big companies, you don't have a CEO maintain their position, forever. They bring new people in and stuff like that. And he was saying that bringing that guy in could signal that maybe Brad Garlinghouse is on his way out, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, he's over at PolySign, like I showed you guys. He's got a bunch of different stuff going on, so it's interesting. Now that I'm seeing that, it kind of brought me back to that, but we'll keep moving on. This I saw on Digital Perspectives page. Make sure you give all these guys a follow on here if you're on Twitter, and if you're on, obviously you're on YouTube if you're watching my video. Give all these guys a subscribe, turn the bell on, don't miss a single video. They are fantastic. These are my two top guys, 100%. Digital Perspectives, Digital Asset Investor. They're big XRP guys, but they're also big utility guys, and the objective way they look at things and the rationale and just everything. I love the way they go about it. Two very different guys, but super cool. Oh yeah, here we go.
Joining us now, Allianz Chief Economic Advisor, Mohamed ElArian, is here. In this case, tech selling off, but it's not because suddenly the 10-year got out of control, Mohamed. That's still been well behaved, still between, still around 1.66%. But would you acknowledge perhaps the recent moves we've seen in commodities and maybe in inflation, CPI, PPI, Has that got people thinking that the Fed may have to do something in terms of tapering sooner than we thought before? Is that what this is all about, the gravy train ending sooner than people thought? Or what is it?
So if they thought that the Fed was going to change its policy course, and good morning, Joe, you would see the 10-year move. No, this is something else, Joe. This is the markets worried that the Fed will be late.
Really?
And that's why you get this the market itself starting to question the liquidity paradigm. Because if the Fed turns out to be late, then the Fed may have to slam on the brakes. So what you're seeing is nervousness, not that the Fed will move, otherwise the 10-year will be much higher in yield, but nervousness that the Fed will be stubbornly holding on to its transitory mantra about inflation, while other central banks are changing course, while people are increasingly saying, hey, look at the evidence on the ground.
So, just interesting. I don't know that it's like applicable to any of the stuff we normally talk about, but I just thought that whole thing was interesting on just like a perspective of what's going on. And that was by Brad Kimes, who we're going to get back to in just a second. Now, this is Digital Asset Investor. Go check this guy out, man. He is awesome. I don't want to say rabbit hole because that gives people the wrong impression, but this guy knows how to look beyond the smoke screen. I'll just put it that way. And the way he has ability to like remember words and phrases and faces, and he puts stuff together that just, it gets me going the way he delivers it, man. If you like a good thriller, a little bit of suspense, man, this guy's great. And he knows what he's talking about too. That's what I love about it. His dad's got a channel too. It's pretty cool. So yeah, he's posting. These are some clips from Cryptonaires documentary, which just came out, which I believe was produced by Mr. Brad Kimes from Digital Perspectives. We're going to get that in a second. We're going to watch a couple of these clips that he posted. I just think they were cool to give you guys a little context on what's in it. I'm going to go ahead and register and pick one up from a copy or download link, however it is, stream. I don't know what it is, but I know it's free, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to check it out either way. But check this out.
And XRP just stood out. And I said, you know what? This is gonna be huge. And then XRP does the run to, I think, 28 cents. And I'm smoking a cigarette at the time, and I'm just looking at my account, and I'm like, is this for real? This cannot be happening to me. I mean, to me, out of all people, this cannot be happening. I take $40,000 of just savings that I had, and I'm like, Hail Mary, let's go. Oh. Yeah, Hail Mary, just 40 grand, just Hail Mary, let's go. Plopping into XRP December 9th, and I put it into XLM, awesome. And then it just kept going. It just kept going, and it hits 384, I think it is. This is Coining 203, and I just got one thing to say. What are you waiting for to become a Cryptonaire? I did it. I'm living proof of it. It can happen, and it will happen.
Pretty solid message going on there. Here's another one.
It was very unclear.
Now that's Jed McCaleb. So keep in mind, I'm going to give you guys a little background. A lot of you might not even know what Mt. Gox was, but back in the day, like around like 2010, 11, something 12, maybe something like that. Mt. Gox was like pretty much the main Bitcoin exchange. I think you had some peer-to-peer stuff going on, but it was pretty much like the main place in the world. Well, a bunch of stuff got happened. A bunch of money got taken. Everybody like went to prison pretty much except for this guy. He then went to and started Ripple, which he's going to talk about here, and ended up leaving for, he'll talk about all that in this little clip. And, left there, and he is the creator of Stellar XLM, the Lumens. So this is Jed McCaleb. He's a big deal in this industry, man, and in this space. He's like a modern Houdini, though. He's not mentioned in the Ripple lawsuit, which I find super interesting because he was around during all these times that they're talking about. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get to the clip.
Back then, what the trajectory of Bitcoin would be. It seemed like maybe it only would appeal to a certain set of people. I think most people that were involved in it from back then were kind of surprised at how quickly it kind of took off and like gained attention, and came up with the idea that led to Ripple. And so I started Ripple in I think 2012, something like that, 2013. Something. And then hired David Schwartz and Arthur Brito, and then later brought on Chris Larson to be the business side of it. Usually I'm like technical side of these things and have someone else help me on the business side. And the relationship just wasn't right, and I couldn't really work with them. So left Ripple and was going to do something else completely different, but still thought that this basic idea that we had was really good and compelling, and the world really does need this universal payment network, and started Stellar.
So I'll give you some insight on how XLM came to be and everything. I thought there was one more little clip down here. Oh, yeah. Here we go. So this is on, and again, this is on DAI's page. So this guy, Brian Brooks, he was the former comptroller of the currency here in the States. He is now a brand new CEO. I believe it's CEO. I don't think it's CFO. I'm pretty sure it's the CEO. Does it say it here? I might even say it. Yeah, it does right there. CEO of Binance US. So the US division of Binance, which somebody actually made a point and told me the other day. I think that they're not even technically affiliated with one another. I think it's just based maybe because it's the Binance chain. I don't really know. But anyway, he is talking about, well, you'll see what he's talking about. Just check it out.
Okay, so one of the reasons that Bitcoin is down the last couple of days is because of people's interpretation of the Chinese government's being believed to have said we're basically banning crypto. So you could get a lot of clarity on price stability by just knowing that the US government wasn't going to ban crypto. And this was a point that I made when I was still in government, was to say nobody's going to ban Bitcoin. All right, there's a $2 trillion asset class in crypto that's not going to go away. So let's start by saying it's okay to be in the asset class. And then what somebody needs to say is if a crypto token is a security, for instance, that doesn't mean it's illegal. It just means that, like other securities, there are certain disclosures and registrations that have to be made. And we need the SEC to create a pathway for that to happen. And if you think about the Ripple litigation, Romain, people wouldn't be in a panic about it if, in the event Ripple lost, they could simply register the token and trade on a securities exchange. The problem is that hasn't been allowed yet. Okay, so one of the reasons that
So you guys heard that, man. Brian Brooks is an awesome dude, man. He knows what's up. He knows what's up. Anyway, so here's the website. It's Crypto Performance. I believe the link said .io. This one has all this going on. You guys can snag that if you need to. I have not looked at this page at all yet. It says, want to hear directly from the founders of CPC, Cardano, Ripple, Litecoin, Stellar, Tron, which is Justin Sun from Twitch, and other leaders in the crypto space. Don't miss the chance to get their views on the future of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Speaking of Tron and Justin Sun, that is something else that you guys might find interesting. I certainly do. It's something I hold as well. And I hold BTT, which is BitTorrent, which they bought. You guys should look into all of those. It's not financial advice, but just something I think you might enjoy. And this looks like a trailer, I guess. So we're going to watch that together.
I think one of the my vision is that cryptocurrency can be both a good store of value.
This is just like the internet in 1980s.
Exciting. I think a lot of real-world projects are now wanting to come to list.
Yeah, shout out to my crypto fam. All across the land, brothers and sisters, worked all my life. Crypto Performance. CPC, BTC, ETH, XRP, BCH, XLM, BSV, ADA. We got them all, baby. Check it out.
Three things. The first, get into this fantastic market. The second, learn to use this innovative technology. And third, buy and hold your coins. That's the secret.
I'm gonna be a cryptonaire. Everywhere I go, people will stop it.
Life becomes so amazing because you realize that all the rules in life can be rewritten.
Do you wanna be?
It was very unclear back then what the trajectory of Bitcoin would be.
Cryptonaires.
Hello Cryptonaires, I'm Giuseppe, co-founder of Crypto Performance. I enjoy the film only at Crypto Performance.
Sorry about that. I got a little crazy with the mouse. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna hop off here, man. I gotta go to bed. So I will see you guys tomorrow sometime. Real quick before we go, what's happening here? Let's see how we're looking since the video started. Not looking too bad. A lot better than it did earlier. Let's see what we got going on here. So we still got green candles rolling in on the 12. I'll call it now. So the altcoin or the alt market cap here. So this is the beginning of a 15-minute candle. See, this here says that, just if you guys are ever watching me do this or anybody do this for this matter, this is how much time is left on the candle. And I'm on 15-minute just so I can see a little more action. Or no, this is 30-minute, excuse me. So we're actually in the red right there, but that's not a big deal. As long as the longer paced candles, you look at the 4 hour and it's like, same with the day, it's like just barely there. It's so bad. And then over here, yeah, I know, whatever. Same story over here, you know, it's breaking above fibs and it's continuing on up. So hopefully we got some good news in the morning. See you guys.